I just want to say thank you for responding. Thank you for the great communication. I mean, everything. I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
But I thank you because I think that you're a voice of Liberia.
Oh.
So I think that people will listen to you when you actually say.
3 weeks ago, I made a video on the Libassa Zoo that existed before the Liberian Civil War. Upon my return to Liberia, I went back there to visit the zoo, but it was no more. This led to a research on zoos in Liberia, and in the process, I stumbled upon the Libassa Wildlife Sanctuary. Before meeting with the director of the sanctuary, I didn't know what to expect, but I can tell you for sure, it was a big learning experience on wildlife conservation. Let's get right into the video.
What's up? Your morning, your hello, you're sleeping, you're better because you know I had to do the mask thing before going there. I'm out here at Libassa Wildlife Sanctuary and I came to get information about wildlife. We are, delving deep into this thing. So stay tuned. We'll come back with a lot of juicy. So this was really interesting to me because growing up, I knew that we had a zoo in Liberia. So when I came back from outside of Liberia and I went there to see if the zoo was still existing, I didn't see any zoo. I was like, what's happening? Doing research on the internet, that's how I stumbled upon the Libassa Wildlife.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I wonder what really happens there.
Yeah.
So I need to get there to see, what's happening there. And I just want to say thank you for responding. Thank you for the great communication. I mean, everything. I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
But I thank you because I think that you're a voice of Liberia.
Oh.
So I think that people will listen to you when you actually say.
Okay.
So the sanctuary is an area where we have all the animals have been seized or have been relinquished. Now in 2016, the law of Liberia changed and it is illegal to keep any wildlife animals, okay? You cannot keep them as pets, you cannot poach them, you cannot consume bushmeat, and this is why the sanctuary came up. So as people start to learn about the law, they'll say, oh, we've got a pet, okay? So that's illegal. We would use that as a chance if they came to take them round and teach them about conserving wildlife.
Okay.
Liberia has got a great culture, as you know, of not great, but for consuming bushmeat. Okay.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Liberian's forests are fantastic. There is so much biodiversity, but if Liberian people carry on the way they're going, they're going to lose that. Okay. So they've brought the law in. To try and make people to stop them eating bushmeat and keeping them as pets. Okay. There are no more animals left in the forest. It's like pangolins. Pangolins eat all the termites. If we didn't have, but if you didn't have pangolins in your forest, all your houses would get eaten by the termites because termites eat wood. Okay, if all the pangolins have gone, there's nobody to eat the termites. If nobody to eat the termites, they'll just eat all the wood.
Right.
So actually, by conserving pangolins, you're conserving your homes.
Your homes, yeah.
Right. So I'll take you round.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, most of the wildlife that you're going to see here is indigenous to Liberia. Okay. We have a number of crocodiles at the moment. So this actually, one of our main aims here is to release back into the wild.
Okay.
So we work very, very closely with FDA, the government body for the forestry, okay, Development Authority. We work very closely with them, and if they capture or they take an animal off somebody, they will bring it to here. Okay. Then we care for it. If it's got injuries or things like that, we will rehabilitate it.
Okay.
And then we'll release it into protected areas.
Okay.
So we work very, very closely with the FDA.
Okay. So like I would have asked like why did you start to do this, but it's like you've already explained everything in the beginning. So
this little one, for example, though, he's quite a big crocodile. He will never be released to the wild because he's blind.
oh.
So he is what we call one of our ambassador species. He will always be here. We have many school groups come in as well. So they learn about it. Now, one of the things that we want to do at the sanctuary as well is to start teaching children. In your national curriculum, you don't really have anything to do with conservation. So the other day we had World Pangolin Day in February, and we went up to one of the schools and the children did a play for us about pangolins and how you shouldn't eat pangolins. It was very cute. Then we had some games and taught them about the importance of pangolins and why we should keep pangolins and why they're important to the forest and to the people. Because in Liberia, I think it's something like 60% of people are within about 5 kilometers of a forest, and they use the forest. So we need to make sure that the forest is just used sustainably. That's not going to change. People will still use the forest. We're not saying no, we're saying let's try and make different choices.
So how long have you been doing this?
So I've actually only been here since since end of November last year, October, November. So Julie, that was here before, she was here for the 4 years. Now the Ecolodge is owned by Rudolph and Lisa, and they were the first ones. They had a pet monkey. But they realised that that's not good for the monkey. Monkeys are the same as us. They're very social. They should be with other monkeys. They shouldn't be pets. Okay?
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Wow. It came out for us. Yes, it showed up.
That's cool.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful.
How cool is that? So this is full-size crocodile. They're dwarf crocodile, but they're full-size. We've got smaller ones, but they tend to hide quite a lot. Yeah, so Lisa and Rudolph had a pet monkey, but then they realised, this isn't really the way that the monkey should be kept. So they also they have other businesses. They're not the first ones to say that they don't always know about how to keep wildlife. So they employ people to come and run the sanctuary for them. These are city mangabees. Here we have everything apart from chimpanzees. There is somewhere, there's a chimpanzee foundation here that actually take the chimpanzees. Okay, so LCRP. We take everything apart from chimpanzees.
So after all of these have been restored
to health, then you let them out. Right, that's an excellent question, because actually the one thing that takes a long time to rehabilitate are the monkeys. Monkeys are very much the same as us. They live in family groups. They learn from each other. Now, all of these monkeys that are here are orphans. Their mothers have been killed for the bushmeat. And if there's a small one that's attached, unfortunately, the small one is often given to children as a pet. But this is also illegal. So all of these monkeys have not had the experience that monkeys in the wild would have. They would learn from the mothers and fathers, the same as we would. So rehabilitating monkeys is our biggest job. So this is our city release program here. So what we want to do is we want to release this group of monkeys back into the wild. But you can't just let them go. They don't know about predators. They don't know how to feed themselves. They've always been fed by us. They need to learn how to forage. They need to learn many things. So it's quite an extensive program. We have 4 months, and it hasn't been done in Liberia yet. This will be the first time that it's done in Liberia. Then we will take them to the release site. Once we release them, we will have people following them for a year. And they will follow them for a year to make sure that they can forage for themselves, they can fend for themselves. When they come across another group of monkeys, they act appropriately. When they come across predators, they act appropriately. Okay. And here, when you had the nursery, these are the older Campbell's monkeys and the older spot-nosed monkeys. Ooh. So just come this side. So these are adults. So as you can see, we've got so many sooties, but there's less of the spot nose. But the hope is to make groups of them so they can be released into the wild. But actually, in the wild, these all go into different niches of the forest. The sooty mangabey is quite a ground-dwelling monkey, and these as they go up, so they all exist together in the wild, so they can live together in the wild. Yes, so that's our big program at the moment. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time. We get funding. We are a charity. We rely completely on funding. Yeah. So we do tours where we'll take educational tours with children and everything, and we do tours every day at 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock, and that gives us revenue. So again, the aim is to release them back into the wild. Right. So here we have our black-backed duikers. Black-backed duikers, all duikers are supposed to be scared of us. So these again will not be released into the wild. They will not be released into the wild because we fear that they will come near humans again. And if they come near humans and they get captured and they get eaten or taken as a pet, that's exactly what we don't want to do. So again, these are our ambassador species. We have these to show how we want to preserve them, really, and not eat them.
That's what we can call deer.
Yeah. Okay, here we have 2 Kusamasis. Now this is a prime case of where we have 2 Kusamasis. They were bought in a market by an American couple. Okay. You should never buy animals. Okay? When you buy the animal, you are creating the market. Okay? Yeah. So we don't buy them. They should be confiscated. They shouldn't be sold in the market. As soon as there's money passed, they go out to the wild and get some more. So the American couple that got the 2 Kusamasis, they had them as pets, and when they left to go back to America, they relinquished them to us. Okay. Again, they are so habituated. Yeah, they are so used to humans. We have tried to release them. They've come back into the car. Wow. So this was before I came here.
Look at them both. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, this is all one group of monkeys. Okay, they have 3 different enclosures. Okay. Now we're introducing this monkey here into the group, and how?
This one?
Yeah. And how we do that? You see, he's in the cube there.
Right.
He can interact with the other monkeys and get used to each other before they go in. They will be in there for 4 or 5 days before we introduce them into the group. Okay. Now that means that this monkey has got a chance of being released this November, December.
Okay.
Which will be fantastic.
Wow.
This is got nothing in it at the moment. The last thing that was in here was a civet, and we released that back into the wild. Okay. So since we've been here, we've had over 600 animals go through the sanctuary. We've had 70 different species, birds, reptiles and mammals. And we've reintroduced over 300 different animals back into the wild. Okay. So
wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
This is Suniga.
Suniga.
Yeah. He was a pet in a village. Unfortunately, he was fed cigarettes and alcohol. Yeah. So he sometimes has seizures, but he is the dominant of the group here. Okay. Yeah. They're all sad stories. This is Jack and Mowgli. Okay, this is, I said to you, these are 2 adult sooty mangabeys. And this was one of the reasons that the sanctuary came about in the first place.
Okay.
Because the founders wanted to have somewhere so that they could go and then with the possibility of being released back into the wild.
Wow.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is our baby coop. Now I told you that. So I told you that when they get taken off their mother, now we can either get them straight off the mother, which means they still need to have milk. So same with our children, they're still breastfeed. So we have to substitute that and give them milk. As they get a little bit older, they don't need to have milk all the time. So they're weaned off milk and they're given food, solid food. Then they come into the play area. Okay. So here we have different species of monkeys. We've got the spot-nosed, which is coming up here. You can see this little one up here with the spot-nose. Okay. These are the spot-nose. You've also got the Campbell's monkey, which is here. So you've got spot-nose here and you've got a Campbell's. There's no baby spotties in there at the moment. So there you've got a Campbell's and a spot-nose together. As they get older, they will be put into their species-specific groups. Okay. If that city release program is successful, we hope that each year we'll be able to release a group of monkeys back into the wild. Okay. We want to be made redundant here. We don't want any animals at all. Yeah. All the animals in Liberia should be in the forest. People can still go and enjoy and look at them, and actually ecotourism for Liberia could be fantastic. People pay a lot of money to go to countries like Kenya, Tanzania, to go and see the animals.
Safari.
Yes, here there is so much biodiversity. Why shouldn't they come to Liberia and see the animals in the wild? And I think when we're talking about alternative sources of food and income, ecotourism is huge. Now, as I said, we're the only sanctuary in Liberia, but also in surrounding countries. So here, these are the only monkeys that are not indigenous to Liberia. Okay? They come from Guinea. So these are the patus monkeys. Okay? The patus monkey is the fastest monkey in the world. Okay? If he comes down, you'll see he's got very long legs. Now, most of Liberia is woodland. Yeah. Most of Liberia is woodland, and the monkeys live in the forest. Yeah. This species of monkey is bred to run in the savannah. They're completely adapted for a savannah lifestyle. Lovely, isn't he? So he actually came to us from Guinea, but he came as a pet. So he'd been a pet for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Wow.
Okay, we have another species of monkey here. These are what Liberians call the green monkey, and in some parts of the world they call it the, what do they call them? The berbits. Okay, exactly the same, it's just regional differences really, it just depends what, where you come from. This is another group that we would hope to release into the wild. Again, all orphans or pets. Beautiful.
Showing off.
Yeah. Coming to look at you. So as you can see, we've got mainly monkeys at the moment. So as I say, one of our main objectives here is to release.
Right.
Okay, it's very important for us to release these animals back into the wild. These are the chimney parrots.
The parrots.
Okay, these are very similar to the African grey parrots, but in Liberia you have the chimney, and these are CITES 1 protected. Okay, so you cannot transport these anywhere around the world. They are globally protected. Okay, these again are mainly pets, but we also quite often apply for grants.
Okay.
And the EU just gave us quite a lot of money to do construction. So we are very, very fortunate that we have a full-time vet here.
Okay.
That's my office. Here we have the nursery, and here we have the pangolin. Now the pangolin is also something that in Liberia they call the ants bear. Okay, so the ants bear is often eaten and called sweet meat.
Right.
Okay, as I mentioned to you earlier, without pangolins, the forests are going to die because there's no termites. We've had quite a lot of white-bellied pangolins. So in Liberia, there's 4 species of pangolin in Africa. In Liberia, you've got 3 of the 4. So there's the giant pangolin, which nobody's really seen one of. There's a white-bellied pangolin and a black-bellied pangolin. Again, so we have quite a few of them here. We rehabilitate and we release back into the wild. I think we've had about 70 through and we've put about 54 back into the wild. Unfortunately, some of the animals come in a very bad state. Okay, so we often have this so that we can show people how we receive them. So we get quite a lot of reptiles, and you'll see that they're actually they've got strings around them, and quite often these dig into them and they'll cause quite a lot of injuries. This is how the monkeys sometimes come in. So you've got your spot-nosed here, and we've got this monkey here came in with a very, very bad tail. So this tail had to be amputated, but he's now in the groups. He's fine. He runs around now. Okay. This is how they're often kept, but here you can see how the rope's there and how the rope digs into them. Okay, and again, they are such social animals, they shouldn't be kept on their own. Okay, here we have the duikers. You've seen the duikers. We quite often get them here. Again, one of the main things that people go into the forest for and to lay traps for is to collect the duikers. And if they get the duiker, if the young is still there, they might try and sell the young as well or give as a pet. They're very fragile animals, and quite often we have to put them onto milk as well. When we get the birds come. At the moment, the only birds that we have are parrots, but they often clip the wings, and they clip the wings so that they can't fly. Okay, that's us doing some surgeries. So we have tortoises and turtles. This pangolin came in, had a bad foot. Okay, so we deal with whatever happens when it comes in. Bottle feeding. This is a little potto. Now, it was quite rewarding. About a month and a half ago, we had a baby potto, and it was right up in the middle of Liberia. They said they'd heard of us. We went, FDA went to collect it. We worked out it was 16 days old. Again, its mother had been killed, but this is now getting quite big. Baby pangolins, they quite often have to be bottle fed, and there you've got your mongoose and your deer as well, your duiker. And these are our baby pottos. Yeah. Okay, this is the pangolin. Now, the pangolin is the most trafficked animal in the whole world. Not just Liberia, the whole world. Now, in China especially, they think that the scales have medicinal purposes, and they don't. There's no scientific evidence for this whatsoever. But the Chinese medicine and the Chinese food market, the 4 pangolins that are in Asia are all critically endangered, and that's because they catch them for the scales. In Liberia, they'll eat the meat, but they don't really do anything with the scales. But unfortunately, because China's had all theirs, they're now sending people over to Africa, which is going to make these critically endangered very soon as well. So this is why the whole world has got together and said, we are protecting this animal, because if we don't, it's going to become extinct. Yeah. Okay, this again, how you get the snares and the injuries that they come in with and how we treat them. Great. And this is our little sanctuary. It's illegal to keep, to transport, to eat, to capture or to have as a pet wildlife. So if we hear about anybody keeping as a pet, or The other day, FDA were travelling to Buchanan. They saw at the side of the road a child holding a pangolin up. They stopped and they confiscated the pangolin.
Okay. So with the exception of them, do you have individuals also reach out to let you know when there are animals that
Yes. Yes, quite often.
animals,
yes.
wild animals?
But
They're
the
not-
wild animals
yeah.
are being kept in
Kept,
captivity,
yeah. Mhm.
or they're trying to be trafficked, or they're being kept as
Yeah.
pets. Yes, we'll receive information that say, "Hey, I've just been here. I've seen a monkey on a rope here."
Okay.
We would then inform FDA, and we have a crime task force unit here.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Liberia is fantastic. It's very forward thinking about doing this, yeah. And they have a crime task force unit that specifically go out and take people and prosecute them
I see.
for doing wildlife crimes. So awareness is one of the big things that we do as well, yeah. We do a lot of awareness. So we have in March we had World Wildlife Day, okay. There was a big thing in Buchanan. Mike Dorian, the head of FDA, was speaking. There were senators there. There was all the partners that were there that deal in wildlife. And we also went round Buchanan saying to everybody about the law and everything like that. And there's many people that go into the different areas of Liberia raising awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of our big things. But
Thank
it's
you so
nice.
much.
I like the way that you do your bit to the camera when you take your spin on it as well, which is lovely. Good.
So thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. But that's why I think it's fantastic if you do this, because you know, a Liberian telling a Liberian
Yeah.
is far better than somebody
yeah,
from
yeah.
Glasgow.
Come on.
Some of them have been with us since the start, and the stuff that they now know about wildlife is amazing, and they are really the people.
Many thanks to Suzanne and the Libassa Wildlife Sanctuary family for this great experience. I would love to add my voice to the many out there on the preservation of wildlife. And let's all protect our ecosystem.